we're not gonna miss this opportunity because this program, as you know, Mrs. Berry, the wife of our former mayor, first lady of the District of Columbia, and wife of Mayor Marion Barry, is one of her prides and joys. She's been so busy, but is being the chief executive officer of the Recreation Wish List Committee. Are you there?
Here, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you very well. Thank you. Thank you for coming back.
Side comes. Mine didn't have the little red thing, but glad to be here. Very happy.
Wonderful. So tell
And
us.
I am excited because if you can do anything for 17 years successfully, you've done something. And this is one of those situations that it was just one foot in front of the other. Everyone knows prior to, well, I won't say everyone knows, becoming First Lady, I was a political science professor at the University of the District of Columbia, and I was there for 22 years until my husband became mayor. And at the end of the day, I had to leave. I built a building called the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, where we take children and treat the whole children. We say tennis is the key, but education, tennis is the hook, and education is the key. And so I said to myself, even though I'm not in the classroom, our children still need to know their history. So
Mm-hmm.
I tried very hard to get them to do it. They were not interested. I'd give them popcorn and candy and sit them in front of the video and show them eyes on the prize, and eventually they'd fall asleep. So one year I said, well, why don't we just act out some things and maybe they could learn that way. And so we did a little program in the library of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. And now we are preparing at the Arc and at the Kennedy Center on an annual basis. So it went from the library to the top stage in the city or in the country, which is the Kennedy Center. And of course, our own very own version of that in Ward 8 is the Arc and the journey there. So I'm excited. For 17 years we've done it. It has been it has been an event that inspires, entertains, educates. But the most important thing it does is it builds the self-confidence of the young people. It is amazing to watch, and it happens every year for 17 years. Most of them come in saying, I can't do this. I can't possibly memorize all this, and blah, blah, blah. And then by the time they get to the Kennedy Center, they're competing with each other and feeling like they are truly Frederick Douglass or Marion Barry, or in this year, Ludacris or whatever. And it changes them for life.
So,
I have a
Ms. Berry,
parent.
why did you decide, or why was it decided this year, which is significant, to focus on hip hop as
Well,
opposed to the traditional Black History themes?
yeah, and that's the mayor asked me the same question because there's a general perception, if you haven't attended most of them, that they're just a rehash of Black history, and each one is unique and very different. Like last year, we did likeness and legends. We did the legends on the screen, but the young people or the younger generation that is following in their footsteps were featured in real time. The Tamika Mallory's or the Ron Motens of the world were on stage last year.
Hmm.
This year, when hip hop came, I noticed that people have a very limited view of the impact of hip hop. It's not just music and gold chains. And I started doing my research and realized how much they changed the society in this country. And so, yes, the culture was important. So I said, well, let's join the crowd or the chorus of 50 years and let's see what that really meant and what was the impact. So that's what we decided to do. So it's called hip hop, the music, the culture, the struggle. So you're going to be entertained, but again, once again, that's true form of blacks and wax. You're also going to be educated and inspired. And so that's why we're doing it. So, right, hip hop tells you that there's going to be music, and I promise you, I'm not even trying to fake it, people. I don't know half these people we doing. I I can get the big names, Kanye and whatever, but I don't know Yo Yo and Brenda Rilla, and I was like, well, who that? Who that? But but I know are they great? Were they great in terms of the music they produced? But they also had an impact. So one of the things we're doing on this one is honoring my dear departed friend. I know you knew her, one of the greatest advocates and fighters for justice that lived, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Dolores Tucker took on hip hop
Yes, she did. Went to jail.
because she couldn't understand and would not stand for us being called bitches and hoes.
Right.
And I mean, every time I say that, Dr. Hyde would just shiver. Does she have to say that? Dr. Hyde, that's what they're saying in the music. She has to say what they say. But people say, what was her impact? Well, her impact was this. No, she couldn't stop them from cussing. But as a result of her movement, they had to put labels on the music and they required them to do a clean version of everything they did. That was her impact.
Wow. That's a good story.
So it is a good story. And
Mhm.
testified in front of Congress, took my daughter, borrowed her to walk around with signs. I mean, she was a great advocate uh, for the decency of the music and the negative impact it had on the language. And so she's in it. And then people like Sylvia Rome, she's a woman behind the scenes, but she's known as the mother of hip hop because she's the one who got all those artists signed up. Nobody even have ever in our world we know Sylvia Rome, but in the general population they don't know she existed. And
So
she was
how
hmm?
I'm sorry. How did you all select the artists that you wanted to have portrayed this year by young people in the Blacks and Wax hip hop event? Who,
well,
How did you curate that?
well, first of all, we have a prolific writer, Sheba Haley, who works for the Smithsonian, works for actually Lonnie Bont. And so she did a lot of research. There's a young man named Masan the General that is a part of Until Freedom with Tamika Mallory. We changed his services because he's a hip hop expert, aficionado. And just got down to, well, there's so many. So it got, and it's live airing because those that we may not have doing it, you'll see them doing something up on the screen. I think it got down to one of the things at the end of the day, a production. So it got down to name recognition, and then the
Hmm.
second down to was contribution. So we had some not so famous people on there because you have to tell the story of what happened in the background. And but we have Ludacris and we have MC Light and we have Missy Elliott and we have LL Cool J and we have Salt and Pepper and we have Grandmaster Flash and we have, I don't know, I'm starting lying now. We have all
Use my daddy's phrase. You had Lottie Dottie and almost everybody.
not everybody. Not only are they performing, not only are they speaking, but the costumes are off the chain. And thanks for Pepco. I can say their name 400 times.
For
They stepped
supporting.
us a presenting scholars contribution, which allowed us to really take this to another level if it's possible, because the whole costume is new. We had to do new costuming for 70 something children.
Wow, that's good. And what are the ages of those children?
Well, from 5 to 17.
Wow, that's really great. And most from the DC area?
They're from Southeast Washington. Excuse me.
Okay, I just want you to be clear.
It was so phenomenal last year that our great director of recreation, Miss Jeannie Francis, said this has got to get bigger last year. So we did open it up to some of the other rec centers within the agency of Department of Parks and Rec. So we have some kids from Berry Farms, we have some kids from Trinidad, and some kids from Marshall Heights. So yeah, but it's our kids.
That's wonderful. That's
The
wonderful.
first time the mayor went to see it, she kept asking me, who are these kids? And I said, they're our kids. No, I mean, who are they? I said, they're, he said, well, where are the kids to go to your center? I said, that's them. So
Wow.
the
Yes.
transformation is amazing.
Yeah, we underestimate a lot of our children. We look at them and have all these negative thoughts, but you've given them opportunities to show that, they're smart, they have skills, they're talented, they want to do the right thing. And I commend you for that. When is this event going to take place? Because we've talked a lot
A
about it, but we didn't give a date.
week from today at the Arc at 1 o'clock is our show for the seniors and the schools. And then at 6 o'clock is for the community. And then a week later, and a day, on the 16th at the John F. Kennedy Millennial Stage. And and that is at, let me have to look at, I think we have that there. We have it at 4 for the museum. It's a two-part thing. It's you walk through the hallway and the kids are in frozen, you hit their button and they come alive. That's the museum. Then
Mm-hmm.
the vignette, which is on stage, and that's at 5 o'clock at the Kennedy Center. So
Well,
1 o'clock and 6 o'clock at the Ark a week from today, the 8th on Friday, and on the following Saturday on the 16th at the Kennedy Center.
Well, Ms. Berry, I have to personally just, say thank you because, you, like you said, 17 years, it's been a success. People talk about it during the event, after the event, and just the fact that you've given this an opportunity. I mean, we're running out of time, but do you have a story maybe of one of the young people that participated in this that really it sort of shows why it's so important to do this?
It's important, like I said, it builds them self-confidence, and most of the kids see themselves differently after they do this. But I have a particular one. I have a young man, and I don't know how to describe him, but he's about 7.5, 8 years old. And the moment I saw him, I said to myself, if we don't do something, this young man is going to have a number above his head or a graveside. I just knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Blacks and Wax came around, and he was very subtle, held back, had a real grown demeanor about him. You could tell he had been around a lot of uncles and brothers and kids and boys in the neighborhood, and he was on his way. And so we got him. We found out his special talent was he could dance. So we asked him would he join us as a break dancer. And so he that I said, well, you have a voice. So we started giving him little by little more things, and he just changed. I watched a recent story. This is in real time story. This in this production right here, I've watched the metamorphosis of this young man. To one day his mother came, and she was the mother that you stereotypical used to accustomed to seeing and what it. She called me, she said, Miss Barry, I don't know what to say except thank you. And she started crying. You saving my child's life. He's so excited about this. He's never really wanted to ever do anything. And he's really involved. So we're not finished with him. We're going to take him to New York, take him to the U.S. Open. We're going to do a whole bunch of things. So that is a good story that
Yeah.
but I see where we're going with it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I know there are probably many others, but I didn't want you to leave without, saying and showing. And you've been an example of what happens when we embrace our young people and give them something constructive and adding that historical perspective. Because,
Yeah, they're learning about themselves.
exactly, exactly. So I want to thank you so very much for being with us today, for sharing all this great news. You never disappoint. You're always bringing on more, and just don't get tired. Don't get tired.
Well, I'm getting a little tired, but I'm also training other people.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's what we got to do. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We will see you. We will be there to cover
Yeah.
either at the Ark or the Kennedy Center. We want to make sure we get the story out, but I really appreciate spending this time with us this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.